Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third YouTube video of the day. There is never a dull moment in the crypto space, and today has certainly been anything but dull. We had some massive news earlier in regards that we covered on this channel to the SEC actually launching a complaint, a lawsuit, if you will, against Binance. And what I want to do in this video is extend on my earlier video, have a little bit more of a look and objectify what's actually gone on, and also look at a list of currencies or a few cryptocurrencies that were mentioned in the complaint as securities. Some of them may shock you. We're going to get into all that. Before I start, guys, I really do want to urge people not to panic. It is not great that the SEC has officially launched a lawsuit and a complaint against Binance, but I do think this was one of the most anticipated SEC going after crypto companies kind of situation that there has been. It was pretty obvious that this was going to happen. I want to stress that with any other technological revolution that has came before us, there is always an uncomfortable period as that revolution is being recognized for what it is and actually regulated. We are currently going through that in the crypto space. And actually, it does very much feel like we have been here before. Certainly, as somebody who reports on this stuff daily, I can tell you a number of times, yes, Binance is the larger of exchanges, and maybe there's nothing on that scale. But in regards to cryptocurrencies getting issued with lawsuits, whether it be Coinbase, whether it be Bittrex, which also we'll look at in regards to the cryptocurrencies that were mentioned in that lawsuit, it does very much feel like we've been here before. And I do not believe this is a time to panic. Personally, I'll be taking advantage of this as we ultimately see a broader trend to the upside, not just for the cryptocurrency markets, but markets generally. We cover the macro markets every single day on this channel at 1 p.m. UK time for anybody that's new. And we're going to be taking advantage when we can in regards to, pullbacks, essentially. But let's get into it all, guys. I don't want to continue to waffle on for too much longer, but it's important not to panic and to try and be objective and really look at what's going on. So let's just quickly take a look at the fact that the SEC files 13 charges against Binance entities and the founder CZ. The charges include operating unregistered exchanges, broker deals, and clearing agencies, misrepresenting trading controls and oversight on the Binance.us platform, and the unregistered offering and sale of securities. And we're going to go into the lawsuit and actually look at what the securities were. We also had the SEC file against Bittrex. We can look at what the coins that were mentioned there were. Algorand was one that's overlapped. And I'll tell you what, I'll just show you guys this now. This was something actually that I posted on Twitter. This was funny, I found, but the situation isn't very funny at all, certainly if you understand the massive attack that this is not just on Binance, but the overall industry. But this is from the lawsuit. As Binance's CCO bluntly admitted to another Binance compliance officer in December 2018, we are operating a FKING unlicensed security exchange in the US, bro. Now, I think that's been taken largely out of context. But I just found that somewhat funny. It's kind of one of them sigh moments where you're like, But let's look at some of the cryptocurrencies that were actually mentioned by the SEC under the selling of unregistered securities. Unregistered offer and sale of crypto assets. The SEC charges Binance for the unregistered offer and sale of BNB, BUSD, and crypto lending products known as Simple Earn and BNB Vault. The SEC charged BAM trading with the unregistered offering and sale of Binance US staking as a promoted service. So that's not the one we are after. Let's go into the actual lawsuit. If we go all the way down to point, I think it's 352. The crypto assets traded on the Binance, let's zoom in a little bit here, guys. .com platform and Binance.us platform include assets that were offered and sold as securities. Okay, so since the Binance platform launched, defendants have made available for trading on them, crypto assets that are offered and sold as investment contracts and thus as securities. This includes, but is not limited to BNB, BUSD, and the unit of each of the crypto asset securities further described below, with the trading symbol SOL for Solana, ADA for Cardano, Matic for Polygon, Phil for Filecoin, Atom for the Cosmos Hub, Sand for, of course, Sandbox, Mana for Decentraland, Algo for Algorand, AXS for, I think that's Axie Infinity, and Coty, which many of you that are familiar with Cardano will be familiar with. So this was very interesting. It's also, this was the lawsuit against Bittrex, where they actually mentioned not just Algorand, but OMG Network, Dash, Monolith, NGC, Real Estate Protocol, IHKT, and Algorand. So Algorand's been mentioned before. When they say they're securities, there could be a bit of an overlap here in regards to perhaps they're talking about the derivatives market that Binance has offered, that many trading platforms offer, and maybe not the underlying, or not specifically the underlying, but you know, the securities could be in regards to the derivatives market. So what I mean by that is the futures contracts. But you have got to sort of ask, well, is Gensler calling these securities? And if so, he's not given any clarity on it. He's blanket in the crypto space, where actually you need to look at each one of these individual cryptos and take into account a number of things to determine whether security. It's clear that he's not done that. So don't necessarily take this as 100% these coins mentioned. And I'll just go over them again. We've got Solana, Cardano, Matic, Filecoin, Atom, Sand. We've got Decentraland, Algo, Axie Infinity, and Coty. Of course, BNB and BUSD. Don't take this as they are securities. Take this as the SEC could be implying that they are. I'm not sure whether they're talking about maybe the futures contracts specifically, and perhaps not the underlying assets. But if they are calling these, this is what I mean by this is not just an attack on CZ and Binance. This is an attack on the entire space. It is downright shameful. This is all happening, by the way, guys, in the name of protecting investors. Let's go over to the charts and take a quick look at where some of these investments are. So let's take a look at Cardano, for example, which is one just yesterday we were looking at upside for Cardano. We still think it's coming despite this, but this is your daily candle. How's this working out for helping out investors? And that actually went pretty low. Atom. It'll be the same thing across the board. Algorand, of course, has just had one of the most brutal times recently, of course, first with the Bittrex, and now the SEC lawsuit. It's very interesting, guys. We will keep you up to date on everything. I do want to stress that I don't believe you should panic. I think this is, as always in the cryptocurrency space, very over-exaggerated from the media and everything else, and actually people's reactions, perhaps. It does, again, feel like we've been here before many, many times. I think the effects of this will wane. And again, like I said, I'll be looking personally today to take advantage of this and maybe have already. But what you guys choose to do is entirely up to you. Days like today, there's always silver linings. As a content creator, it gives me a lot to talk about. It's also a great buying opportunity. You know, you want to look for the positives in a situation like this and not the negatives, even though the negatives are present and you should definitely acknowledge them. Ultimately, I do believe that this is going to be largely a nothing burger like the lawsuits we've seen previously before them. And actually, again, going back to what we're doing here, you know, this is a technological revolution. And if you look historically at any other technological revolution, barring a very small number that have almost naturally sort of integrated, you do have these teething problems. And actually, we've said on the other side of regulations, there's trillions of dollars that are going to flow into this market. And this, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe is part of it. All as corrupt as it may be and as unfair and whatever it may be, whether you like it or not, you know, the SEC does have jurisdiction in the United States and they're going to enforce that. And this is just part of it. And we'll see what the kind of end game is for all this. But let's just go back to the coins again. Solana, Cardano, Matic, Filecoin, Atom, Sand, Mana, Decentraland, Algo, Axie Infinity, and of course Coty have all been listed by the SEC in regards to Binance selling them, facilitating sales and offers of these tokens. All I've got for you in this video, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated, so as a comment. Remember, this is an attack on the whole space because ultimately, I'm sure some of you out there may have traded these tokens. Have you unwillingly traded a security? There are ramifications to that. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. I'm going to love and leave you. Don't panic, guys. Stay level-headed and logical, more importantly than anything. And I'll catch you all in the next one. We'll continue to update you on this as it unfolds.